Self-care has become such a popular topic lately, but I want to talk about what real self-care is. Although eating ice cream and watching Netflix can be fun, that isn't what self-care is truly about. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can actually take care of yourself so that you feel loved, respected, and capable of being your best self. Hey guys, I'm Kim, and welcome back to the Higher Vibes Tribe community, where we talk about everything law of attraction, mindset, and becoming your highest self. So by now, you probably have somewhat of an idea of what self-care is and what it means to you. You're probably thinking bubble baths, online shopping, and spa days, and honestly, that's what I used to think too, because that's pretty much what the media tells us, and all of those things are great, necessary, and amazing. However, those things should come after the fact, because real self-care is holding yourself accountable. It's doing what you know you need to do in order to keep yourself productive, safe, happy, and feeling your best. And a lot of the time, it isn't all that fun or easy. Self-care is a reflection of how we truly feel about ourselves. Self-care is treating yourself in a way that shows you love and respect yourself. And honestly, when we feel badly is ironically and often when our self-care suffers the most. It's kind of a downward spiral because you feel bad and then your self-care suffers and then you start to feel even worse. So yeah, it just goes on from there. And sometimes self-care even involves dealing with situations, people, emotions, and feelings that we really don't want to deal with. Sometimes I even feel like we mask doing these things with self-indulgence instead. Saying, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna practice self-care today, so I'm gonna watch movies and eat chips, but it's really just a distraction so we can put off what we truly know we need to deal with on the inside. And I'm so guilty of this too. I have a ton of distractions lined up so I can distract myself from dealing with the things I actually need to deal with. But there is a major difference between self-care and self-indulgence, and I think it's super easy to get the two mixed up. But when we talk about self-care, I really want you guys to start thinking of self-care as, what do I need to do in order to make sure I feel my best and that I can meet my responsibilities and my obligations? Not necessarily what you want to do. We can reward ourselves later once we tackle some real self-care. And honestly, hug yourself every time I say self-care, because I'm going to be saying it a lot more in this video. So I think the first major component of self-care is taking care of your energy. I know that a lot of the time I feel drained after doing certain activities. So I really encourage you to take notice of how you feel after doing your daily activities. Do you feel energized or drained? Write it down if you think you're not going to be able to remember. Then ask yourself, are you able to cut out any of the activities that drain you? Maybe you're hanging out with people that you didn't realize were negatively affecting your energy. I mean, there's such a difference between being tired because you had such an awesome day doing things with your friends and being tired because the people you were around just sucked all the energy out of you. And if you aren't able to stop doing the activity that's draining you, such as staying in a job that you don't like, I know that there are so many reasons why we can't just simply get up and leave a job that we don't like. I would really just try to prepare yourself to tackle that thing. What can you do to make that job a little bit easier or a little bit more enjoyable for you? I know in the past when I've had jobs I didn't like or found draining, I would find different ways to keep myself happy throughout the day. This could be packing an awesome lunch that I knew I would love, or planning something fun to look forward to after I came home. These are all aspects of self-care, conserving your energy when you can and protecting it when you have to. This is so important because our energy is what carries us throughout the day, and it impacts a lot about how we feel about ourselves. So it's really important to make sure the people in your life and the things in your life are bringing you good vibes instead of bad ones. So the second aspect of self-care is to start making more of an effort to be the person that you want to be. Let me explain this one a little bit. So we all have that ideal version of ourselves that lives in our head, right? Like, I wish I could be this person or be that kind of person or do this or do that. Make a list of all the things that you want to start doing. For example, eating healthier, working out for a certain number of days per week, sleeping earlier, drinking more water, spending less time on Netflix, whatever it is. Write down that ideal version of yourself and the things that ideal version of yourself would be doing. And now start incorporating those things into your life. Now, this is where the real work comes in, because honestly, a lot of these things aren't fun in the traditional way that we think about self-care, but they are really necessary to become the best version of yourself. Like, one thing I struggle with a lot is sleeping on time. I'm a major night owl. Honestly, it's so bad. I probably get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep like every day. I know, it's so bad. And yes, of course, this leads to me being hella groggy, tired, and I really just can't move throughout my day as best as I could if I got a proper sleep. I'm just more lethargic and irritable. And then, I would tell myself, I'm gonna skip my workout today. I'm practicing self-care because I'm super tired, so I'm gonna be easy on myself. And yeah, ordinarily, it would be okay to skip your workout if you were extra tired one day. But skipping a workout because I went to bed late when I knew I should have gone to bed earlier is not self-care. That's just making excuses for yourself. You need to hold yourself accountable and do the things that you know you should be doing. So make that list of things that ideal version of yourself would be doing. Plan it out. I have a whole video on planning your goals and meeting them, so I will link it up here wherever it pops up. But I think it would be really helpful careful with this stuff. Just write it down, plan it out, and start doing it. And remember, this is your ideal self, so it's okay if it's not perfect. You can't do it all at once, but you can make an honest effort to start incorporating those things into your life. And by the way, guys, if you're enjoying this so far, I would really appreciate it if you could take a second to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. It would really help me grow and get this message out to as many people as possible. So the third aspect of self-care, and one that I think is often forgotten, is to schedule some time in for self-reflection. I feel like no one ever really talks about this one when it comes to self-care, and I really avoided this one, especially when things weren't going well in my life, which is ironically when we need self-reflection the most. Self-reflection is basically sitting down and assessing where you are and how you're feeling. Basically taking an inventory of your emotions and your thoughts for that day. It really helps you to get to know yourself better. What you like, what you don't like, what's working, what isn't working, what changes need to be made, what you need to let go of, if anything, and what you need to add into your life. And now you might be thinking, well, duh, I obviously know myself. I don't need to write these things down. And I used to think that too. I was like, I'm not gonna set aside time for this. I have all the answers in my head right here. But actually having some time to sit down and ask yourself these specific questions is a lot different than just randomly thinking about these things in your head. You're honestly just gonna have to trust me on this one. So let's say you set a goal to try to incorporate more things your ideal self would be doing, like we just talked about. Self-reflection would be sitting down and assessing how that went. Was it too much? Could you add more? How did it feel? And what can you modify to make it go even more smoothly in your life? Other self-reflection questions you could ask yourself is, how do I feel on a daily basis? And what is making me feel this way? Are the people in my life adding value or adding problems? Am I holding myself back in any way? Is there anything that I'm avoiding? I understand that this can be difficult to unpack sometimes, but I really do think this is a crucial step to uncovering things you might not have known about yourself and taking care of how you feel on the inside. Because you can do all the things, work out, sleep, eat healthy, and those things will help. But it's really important to get to the root of how you feel and who you are, to make sure that you're living life in a way that is fulfilling to you and in a way that serves you. So yeah, self-reflection, major key. So the fourth aspect of self-care is to take care of the physical. I somewhat touched on this already, but it's worth mentioning again. So self-care is also taking care of the physical, so your body. Some notable things that come to mind are getting proper sleep, exercising, drinking enough water. This one's huge. I totally underestimated what a difference this would make in my life, and I honestly feel like I say this for a lot of my tips, but it's true. Because I have a tendency to underestimate what a difference these small changes can actually make, but small changes can lead to a huge, huge improvement in your life. Eating healthy, making sure you go to the doctor when you're supposed to. Yeah, how many of us avoid this one too? These are all parts of self-care because it shows that you're treating your body in a way that you love it and that you respect it. Self-care is about loving yourself and treating yourself in a way that reflects that. So taking care of the physical doesn't only mean your body, but also the space around you as well. Are you living in an environment that is going to make you feel good? Is your space clean and tidy? Do you have things that can make your life easier, such as a good chair and a desk to work in? Our environment and our surroundings play a major role in how we feel. I know whenever I have to work in a space that isn't comfortable for me, I just feel irritable and my whole mood goes downhill. So make sure you're doing what you can to keep your space clean and organized. Put away your clothes, have your pens and pencils and all your supplies ready. Whatever you know you need to do to make yourself feel good in your space, because this is a little bit different for everyone. And the fifth aspect of self-care is self-compassion. To sum this all up, I really just think we need to start being a lot nicer to ourselves. We can be our own biggest critics sometimes, and sometimes we are just so harsh on ourselves. We beat ourselves up if we didn't meet our goal or we make a mistake. We automatically start saying, I'm so dumb, I'm so stupid, how could I do that, I'm such a failure. Holding yourself accountable doesn't mean speaking to yourself rudely if you don't meet a goal or make a mistake. It means talking to yourself in a real and rational way. How would you talk to a friend or someone else who was upset about not meeting their goals or making a mistake? You would probably say something like, it's okay, you don't need to beat yourself up right now, you're human. But what can you do differently next time to make sure you meet that goal or don't make that mistake again? It's not about letting yourself off the hook, but it's about being practical and not beating yourself up. And treating yourself in a compassionate, loving, and respectful way will increase your confidence, self-worth, and your ability to grow and try new things. Because now you've created an environment where you know it's safe to fail and where you know it's okay to make mistakes. You know that's how you learn, how you grow, and how you become a better person overall. You become happier when you feel safe with yourself and know that you are capable of taking care of yourself. So the main takeaway I want you guys to have today is to know that self-care is all about treating yourself in a way that shows you love and respect yourself. And it's about holding yourself accountable when it comes to doing the things you know you need to do in order to be the best possible version of yourself. If you guys enjoyed this video at all, please like and subscribe, and as always, until next time, sending good vibes your way.